Hi all, welcome back. It's Fleur from Fleurs by Design with you today. Today is all about Midori's, and I have a Midori Madness. I love Midori's. They're just like little mini albums. They're perfect for getting creative in and just finishing something up quickly. It's the perfect size. And so for this week, I'm going to be focusing on the Midori I'm making for my son who does musical theater and dance. That's why I put the Converse, because that's what he always wears for hip hop. The crazy face is just because, you know, I'm crazy about Midori's, and the music is because it's all about dance and music. So what I've done is I've used, this Midori is from Love Neen on Etsy. It is a fabric Midori, and this is the watercolor, I think it's called. So it's beautiful. It's just got these really nice pretty colors, kind of in a watercolor format. And then I've added this tassel from Hot Pink Fluff, which is the perfect color to go with this. So I've added the tassel on the front. And then inside I've already made the books. So just like I have in previous episodes with Midori's, I make my own books. So this is just scrapbook paper, and this is the crepe paper poolside collection that I've used here. And I just take some heavyweight paper. This is just a little bit heavier than like regular copy paper, and I make my own Midori's. So I've made 4 for this one because my son is in 4 classes this year. So I've made 4 books. So this one again is crepe paper. This is crepe paper as well, but I think this is Maggie Holmes, and I'm not sure what the paper's from, but it's all crepe paper. And then this is also crepe paper, and I believe all of them are crepe paper. So this is the old travel collection from crepe paper. And this one I'm going to do his musical theater because they're like a little tribe. They're like a little family. So I'm going to put like a little maybe title on here for the musical theater, because that's definitely his favorite class, and the class is like a little family, and they're just amazing kids. So I've already done my books, but what I'm going to show you guys is how I am going to add the photos and how I work through the books. And like I said, this is actually one of the quickest kind of projects that I can do because it's a nice size format, and I don't have to worry about doing a big 12 by 12 scrapbook, and it's easier to fill the pages. So Midori's are a great way if you're struggling with finding time to get your pictures done and you take a lot of photos with your phone especially, then Midori's are actually a great way to get those photos documented into a book and done. So I'm going to walk you through how I do that in just a few minutes. So as I started printing off all the photos, I realized that I actually have more than 4. He's in a duo, musical theater, all boys hip hop, and musical theater. So he's actually in 5 classes, and then I also have photos that are kind of a mix of all different competitions. So they can't really be attributed to any of the groups. So I'm going to have to rethink how I do this Midori. I really would like to get it all in one, but I'm thinking, I mean, 4 was going to be a lot to put 4 Midoris in one, and I have a feeling doing 6, because I could do 5 and then have 1 for all the other stuff, but I think having 6 might be a little bit too much. So I'm going to rethink it, and I'll be back in just a minute. Okay, so I think I found a solution. I'm going to keep this Midori just each of the dances, so I will make an extra 5th. Luckily, when I bought this one, I got it the double elastic, so it has 2 elastics, and I'll just figure out how to maybe incorporate another book in here. And then I will use this Midori, which I can't remember, I got it online somewhere. It's just like a pleather, but I'm going to use this one for the competition. So I'll do a separate one for the competitions, and then I'll just keep kind of all the photos related to each of the dances in the dance one. So I'm going to end up with 2, but that's okay. I think I'm okay with that. So I'm just going to go ahead and show you how I do kind of a general layout in the book. So I'm going to start with the first book, which is this one that says Adventure, and I'm going to start with his favorite class, which is musical theater. And this year they're doing a pirate theme, so he is Captain Hook. So you can see here I've got some pictures of him practicing with Miss Jyla, who is their teacher. And then this class is just full of amazing kids. Like I said, this is his favorite class, and even for his birthday party he invited all the kids, so they had a Halloween bash. And yeah, so there's my Captain Hook. So I'm going to start off with the Captain Hook, and I do have some pirate paper that I can use in here since it's a pirate theme, and I'm just going to go through my stash and see what I have that I can use. Okay, so I found some pirate paper. This is October Afternoon Treasure Map, and I knew I had bought it. I actually bought it for a Disney page about Pirates of the Caribbean because it's my favorite ride, but I'm going to end up using it here. I really like this pattern paper here. So this is how I make my books. I take a piece of pattern paper, I measure the Midori that I'm using, and this is just, like I said, just a little bit thicker than regular copy paper, and I just measure it, fold it in half, do the same thing with the outside of the book. So I use patterned paper, and then I have this little stapler that I got from the Daiso store, and it flips out so that it can staple down the center of a spined book like this. So you just want to make sure that you don't move it around too much, and then you just staple it. And I do, because this is just a little stapler, I try and do 2 on each side, and you just want to try and line it up with that center crease as much as you can, which I do there, and I'll do another one there, like that. And then there you have it. You have a little book, Midori book, that you've made yourself, because Midori books, I don't know if you've looked, but are so expensive. So I do them myself, much cheaper. And then I'm just going to use some of the journaling cards. I was thinking maybe this one with the ship on it, or I'll look through and I'll use some of these stickers from the sticker sheet on here, along with this is the kind of journaling cards that came with it. So I could use the pirate there. Some of them really, like I could do Go Where the Wind Takes You. That one might work. And then just maybe back it with some blue as well. The mermaid won't really work. You Keep Me Anchored, that one won't really work. Having a Whale of Time would work too, but maybe not with the gray and the brown, although it doesn't look too bad. But I think maybe I'll use that one, the Go Where the Wind Takes You, maybe, and just cover up the octopus and just use that blue as kind of like a backdrop for it, and then add maybe a couple of stickers as well. So that'll be my book for the pirates. And sometimes, you know, even though I tried to pre-plan this and have all the books made, sometimes you kind of go, well, no, it doesn't really work, so you start from scratch again. So this will be the book for that musical theater class, and I'll show you how I do a couple of the inside pages in just a minute. So for this first page, I'm using this awesome wood with anchor paper, and this first page is pretty much just about his costume. So he's playing Captain Hook, and this was kind of the first day they all got to put on their costumes in class, and then this is kind of the final makeup and hair, what he's gonna look like. So I always like to keep a picture of that, so when I'm at competitions and stuff I have something to look at, so I know exactly what it's supposed to look like. And I'm just layering it with this paper, which is the back of the skull paper, and I found this The Adventure Begins, which is perfect for that. And down here, this is what I do when I have lettering. I just throw it on my hand and then put the middle one first, so it's going to say Captain Hook. And so I started with the T in the middle where I want it, and then kind of work away from that. And I always just stick the letters on my hand, so that they're all there and ready to just peel off and go on. So you just want to make sure you line it up as best you can. And then we'll center the hook around the T. The T was the middle, and hook is only 4 letters, so I'm going to put the O's kind of like that. So Captain Hook. And I also am going to use on this side, I'm going to use this picture of a pirate ship, which I really like, which has the red. I want to tie some red in here, and there's not a lot of red in the papers, so I'm going to use this ship here on this side of the layout to go with that. So I'll be back to show you how it looks when it's all finished. Okay, so for this second page, I ended up moving the Captain Hook to the top and putting the boat down at the bottom. And I added another sticky that says Ahoy Mate, since there's a picture of one of the other dancers in the photo there. And I just added another little sticker up here, which is a kind of a label sticker, and it says, "Getting their costume is always an exciting day. He loved his costume, especially the wig," which is awesome. So there's page 2 done. The next page will be, first of all, their first recital. So they do a company recital to get the kids out on stage and practicing before they go on competition. And then we have, this is from their very first competition, so I have that. And they scored in the top 10 overall for they got first place in their division, and then they scored top 10 overall level 3s, I think they were, which is an amazing feat for them. So we got one of these, which is the final top 10, and I'm not sure if I'm going to put this in this book or if I'm going to put this in the general book. So I'll think about that, but I'll come back and do these 2 pages next. So this will be the recital and then their first competition. So I'll be back to show you how I complete that in just a second. So for the next few pages, I'm using up that last piece of the wood anchor that I had, and the last piece of the, this is the skull and crossbones, and putting that on that side with the having a whale of a time for this one at the competition. And then for the recital, I think what I'm going to use, the sticker sheet has this cute kind of flags, so it'll bring a little bit of color into that. So I'm going to use that along the top. And I also have this little sticker which says location, which I'll probably put down at the bottom just so that we know where it was, or maybe on this one. But I'm definitely going to use that across the top there, so I'll show you how it ends up looking when I come back. So here's how I completed the third and fourth pages. This one I used the flag at the top like I was going to, and then just added a couple of the label stickers to put where it was and what it was. So this is the recital rehearsal. And then on this side I used the Having a Whale of a Time. This is their first competition, and I just made a little journaling card to tuck in the pocket here, and on the back it just has all the information. They placed first place and top 10 overall, so that's in here. And I've decided just to put the top 10 awards in with the general one. So I'm going to leave this like here, and I just used, this is an American Crafts paper clip, the arrow, so I just used that at the top there just to kind of, so that you know there's something in there to look at. And that's it for the pirates. I'm going to start book 2. I'll probably do 2 books in this video, and then in my next video I'll do the next books. So I'm going to work on probably, let's see, I'll work on the duo, I think, for next, because I have a lot of pictures for the duo, so let's do that one next. And then I will end the video there so it's not too long, and I will do a second video with the rest of the book. So I hope you're enjoying the series so far, and I'll be back with book number 2. So I'm back with the second book, which is going to be Lyndon's Duo. It's called Stud and a Babe is the name of the song, and it's from a musical theater number, I believe, called I Love You, You're Perfect, Now Change, which is really funny, and it's actually a really funny song. They go from being a nerd into a stud, and then she goes from being a nerd into a babe. So it's perfect for Lyndon. It's a great character piece, and they're awesome at this. So this is kind of like the first day. We do a lot of one-on-one rehearsals for the duos and solos. So we just went into the studio with Jyla on November 27th, and she just asked us to bring in what we thought would be a good costume. So we actually got to pick our own costume for this one. We went shopping and tried to pick up a nerdy costume for him. We added a little bit more after this, but this is the general idea. And then just in the studio practicing. And then the next shot is also another shot of them in the studio practicing with Jyla, which I'll start on the next page. And this time I'll kind of walk you through a little bit more about how I'm going to lay out the next few pages. Okay, so I've kind of pulled out some papers and embellishments that will work with this. This is just another practice. The first kind of show that we did was for an old folks home, a retirement home out in Ladner here, and they got treated to ice cream after the show. So I'm going to use this little ice cream embellishment that I've had for a long time. And I also found a couple of words, so the ice cream would work or the good times would work. So I'm going to put that on there as well, and maybe if I can find a place for this happy chipboard, and go from there. So I'll show you how it looks when I'm all done. So here's the completed pages for that one. I just added a little frame and a little label sticker with the date, and then I added Oh, that's not sticking, so I'll stick that down better. And then I just added the ice cream with a couple of ice cream stickers and the photos from the day that we went to the retirement home and performed in front of all the people. And the next 2 photos I'll be working with are, and I've kind of already picked some maybe stuff to go with them, are from our first recital and then also our first competition. So I'm hoping to use a frame on this one, and then I have the 2 photos for this one, and I'm going to just go with some maybe brown and black since that's kind of what's in their costume. So I'll be back to show you how I finish that up. So here's the final one done for the duo. This is their recital, and I just added a little frame around the picture of them actually performing. And then this is from their first competition, which they got first place in their category, which is awesome. And I just used this wooden smell and backed it with some black and white paper to kind of make the triangle of the black and white for this layout. So there we go. So the duo and trio is done, up to date so far, and the next one I'll be working on for my next video will be his other musical theater and the all boys hip hop. So hopefully you'll be back for that one, and we'll see you soon. Thanks, bye.